This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 389 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Total Saddle Fit, Kentucky Performance Products, Uncle Jimmy's Brand Products, and Horseware. Tonight we are highlighting the USDF finals with Elma Garcia, an amateur rider and commercial director, and her coach, Button Baker from California.
This is Reese Koffler-Stanfield from Georgetown, Kentucky.
And this is Philip Parks from Rockwood, Ontario, and you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show. Hey, Reese, we're on our own, but I think we got a lot to discuss because you're right in the middle of these U.S. finals, aren't you?
Yes, everyone is coming into town, and which has been great fun. You'll hear from my new friend, Elma Garcia. She's been here at the farm all week and just kind of getting ready for finals. It's our last also kind of local horse show of the year, so a bunch of my students are doing that, and Hello is going. We're getting ready for that. So that should be a lot of fun, and it got a little chilly. It's been beautiful here, and but I don't think any rain's forecasted for the rest of the week, so we'll take it.
And here in Canada, in Toronto, actually, is a Royal Agricultural Winter Fair. I'm not sure if a lot of people have heard about it, but they highlight agriculture in general. But there's a really big horse show, and there's a horse show for a lot of industries. The jumpers have a big international competition. The hunters have sort of the culmination of the year for the hunters up here. So they're showing, it's a big indoor show. It's our only indoor show. I wanted to make you kind of think about that for a second, but it's kind of cool. And then there's a dressage Grand Prix class, and heavy horses, the real traditional carriage horses. I mean, so there's a little bit of everything going on at this big show. It's in the city, so there's a lot of people from the city who visit the show and get exposure to not only horses, but there's a cattle auction and demonstrations of cattle, sheep, pigs. They have it's like a fair, right? So they have the biggest pumpkin. There's like the biggest pumpkin thing, the tallest corn that was grown, so it's sort of poultry show. They get all these chickens. I don't know much about all that part, but I know about the horse part, and we really enjoy going. It's like a trade fair as well, so that all the tack stores go, and you can do a ton of shopping, and it's really a fun event.
Oh,
that's
awesome.
Going on up here.
I know, I've always wanted to go, but it always is the same weekend as the national finals, so it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
I think ours started over 100 years ago, or something like 150 years ago. So yeah, you guys just jumped all over that weekend. We
did. We jumped all over that weekend. But no, it's fun to have it. Fun to have it here. And actually, we're heading over to the horse show tomorrow. That's the one thing that's nice about being so close is. But once you go to the horse show, you're at the horse show, so he has to stay. So we're going to go over tomorrow.
He's moving in.
He's moving in, but I think tomorrow we're going to ride at home. I have both my classes on Sunday, which will be a little bit of a challenge to do. So kind of the way the organization fell, and not a great thing, but it is what it is. And there's no complaining at this point. So he's going to have to rest up. But tomorrow or Saturday morning, schooling's from 6 to 7:30 a.m. So that'll be an early one. May need a nap. But then we'll school tomorrow or Saturday. Tomorrow I'll school at home, and then I'll take him over and we'll go hang out at the horse park a little bit, get some sleep on Friday night, and then early Saturday morning, and then get ready for Sunday. So should be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I got to say good luck, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will be cheering you on.
Oh, I love it. Hello loves all the support. He gets lots of good support. So I love it. So super happy. So, but I think we have a great show tonight of talking, like I said, to our new friends. But it's cool. They came all the way from California. So, it's a really big deal when you fly horses across the country to come to a finals. So I think you'll really enjoy after this break from Kentucky Performance Products. We're having an interview with Elma Garcia.
He was her first love, the one that started it all. He taught her how to master the posting trot and navigate her first hunter course. They spent hours together exploring the trails and hanging out in the barn. His name was doodled on every page in her school notebook. His coat gleamed in the sun as he met her at the gate each day, snuffling for a treat. From the first time she saw him poking his head out of the stall to the last time she patted him goodbye, he was, and always will be, her everything. This love story is brought to you by Nalox Advanced, providing complete support for a healthy digestive tract, which reduces the risk of colic and digestive upset. The horse that matters to you matters to Kentucky Performance Products. Call 859-873-2974 or visit kppusa.com to order today.
Well, tonight I am so happy to have our new friend, Elma Garcia, on the line. Elma, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, you've been our guest here at Maple Crest Farm. You are a wonderful lady and you have a great horse, and you are an FEI rider and also a really famous producer of TV commercials, right?
Well, yes, I'm a director. I'm a director of television commercials. Yeah.
Oh my. Tell us
I always get the labels wrong too.
I get the labels wrong.
Producers, directors, exactly. But yeah, we have a production company called Elma Garcia Films, and we do national television commercials for clients, mostly out of the agencies are all New York based. So I've been doing it for over 20 years.
That is so cool. Can you tell us some of the commercials you've done that we would know?
Well, we have a pharmaceutical commercial that's just launched about 2 weeks ago during the World Series for called Hepatitis C, and it's a Hep C awareness commercial. And you'll see people walking through forests, and we ended up shooting in Poland and in the giant redwoods in Northern California. So it turned out to be a very, very pretty and very evocative commercial. So I'm very proud of that one.
That is so
but
cool.
We've done in the course of my career, I've worked for clients from American Express to, Chevy trucks to, Northwest Airlines to Nike to Coca-Cola. I mean, pretty much all blue chip type of clients. So
yeah,
I've
all the big career. Companies, right? Yeah.
That's all the big boys and big girls.
So how much travel is involved in that? Like you said, you were shooting in Poland and.
Yeah. Well, we just had our Region 7 championships at the end of September, and all of August I was on a shoot in Poland. I was on location, and I live between Sun Valley, Idaho, Haley, Idaho, and Thermal, California. So that's our winter home. And my show season goes from January through end of April. And then we go back up to Idaho, and I don't show. I just train for the summers, and so the month of August I was on location in Poland, and then at the end of August, Vanessa went to Epona to Button and start getting her a little tuned up, and then for the month of September until the championships, I flew back and forth for 3 days. Rode I have two other horses. I have a baby horse that's 5 and a schoolmaster mare. And so I would ride them at home up in Idaho. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I would fly to LA and train with Button and get on Vanessa and got my riding legs back.
Wow.
So when we went to the championships, I hadn't been in the arena since the end of April. So anyway, it's all good. It's all fun. And I love what I do. I feel very blessed that I have 2 great passions. One is filming and photography, and the other one is horses. And I always make jokes to my husband, which is, with one passion, I make money, and the other passion, I spend it on my horses.
Yeah. That's why I love you. I'm like, you're so me.
Exactly. But I'm blessed because I love both. I love both. Equally, and I'm probably a more gifted filmmaker but I'm a good little rider too. And
I don't know, girl. You're pretty good. I've been watching you all week. You're a pretty good rider. And
so do you have a separate trainer up north with you that you're training with?
No.
All right.
No. I mean, to be honest, it's like Button. I fly Button up like maybe 3 times during the summer. And and so that's what I do, and then we videotape, and then I send her video clips, and I'll ask her, I'm like, Button, I don't understand how to do this part, or she'll go, why are you doing it like this? You need to be get her under you, and so anyway, that's what I do. And then during the winter season, that's really when I try and spend more time with Button. Either I trailer into Epona for 3 days and then come home. And back to my farm. And I have a beautiful facility in Palm Springs, in Thermal, next to the HITS showgrounds.
Okay.
And I also I really enjoy writing on my own too. I mean, I love working with trainers. I mean, I love working with Button. I mean, she's been fantastic for me. But she also is she's a trainer who's really trying to teach me how to be a trainer. Not that I would ever train anybody else, but to train my horse. And she's not into just, sitting in my ear and saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. I mean, she may do that at the horse shows with me, but it's not how she likes to coach me. And so she's trying really hard for me to understand how to train my horses and how to, make things better. And so that's what I love to do. I go work with her for 3 days, and I go home, and then maybe 2 weeks later, I go back to Epona, or she'll come out on the weekend, and we'll work in the morning. And then one thing that we both have in common is we have a passion for golf. And so in the afternoons, we go play golf for go play 9 holes or 18 holes. And so we keep it fun. And I think that's the important part of this whole horse journey. It's really about having fun and joy. And, that's what it is for me anyway.
And it's true. You show that when you ride. So tell us about Miss Vanessa, because she's your partner, other partner in crime of the 3 girls. She's the other one.
She's a beautiful redhead. She's got a white blaze, and she is a Weltmeyer Donovan. And I bought her from River Grove Farms in Haley, which with Debbie and stuff. And they had originally bought her at the the Hanoverian auction, and she came to the United States, I think, as a 5 or 6-year-old. And Debbie finished the Olympics, the Hong Kong Olympics, and Vanessa was supposed to be her horse, but honestly, Vanessa was never ever going to be her horse because she's a little tough in the connection. And so anyway, Adrian Lyle, who was Debbie's assistant at the time, said, why don't you get on her? She's phenomenal. And I literally took 3 steps, and I had this huge smile on my face. And my husband goes, "That's your horse." And I'm like, "Yep." So I've taken Vanessa from 3rd level, and now we're at Precinct George I-1. And so I just love this mare. She's such a cool mare. We trail ride 2 times a week up in Idaho, and she loves her pasture time. So she gets treated like a real horse. And she's just a real cool mare, and I'm crazy for her. I love her. So it's fun, in April, at our last show of the season, we did our first CDI adult amateur class, and we did well, and we won. And, but it was just a great, great feeling to, you can start to feel it was starting to go up the levels in a proper way. And that's what Button was talking to you guys about in terms of go back, let's regroup here, and let's make sure the fundamentals are all correct. And that's where Button Baker has really helped me, really get back in doing it more classically and really trying to understand what my horse needs or what kind of support she needs.
Oh, it's fantastic. So tell us about your journey here to Kentucky. What made you decide, hey, I want to come to Kentucky, and how did it go today? Kind of the whole spiel on the finals.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of I'm goal-oriented. And so at the end of last year, I said to Button, I was really starting to really get excited about the progress we were making so quickly. And I said to Button, Button, if we do well at the championships, I think we should go to Kentucky. I think that would be, I mean, I've been wanting to go every year. I've qualified, but, I want to go where, I've won the class and then I get to go. And so anyway, that's what happened. We ended up going to going to our regional championship. And I did not win the USDF class, but I won the Horse of the Year class. So I kind of felt like, okay, that was close enough. It was a different day, but at least we had a very good score. And on that following Monday, my husband and I were traveling, and we got the official invite from USDF. And I looked at my husband. I said, "We got to go. I got to go. This is it. This is our time." I'm 57 years old, and Vanessa's 13. And you know what? This is it. This is the time to be doing this stuff. So let's go. So we flew her, and we laid over at your barn, which was fantastic. And the fact that she'd gotten a pasture and eat green, Kentucky bluegrass was pretty exciting. And it's just been a whole wonderful journey, and very proud. I mean, I don't care what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's our big I-1 class. I'm going to go in there and run our best. We had a good warm-up class today, and we came in second, and we were, I think, 0.4 of a point out of first place. And awesome. And it was one big major boo-boo in my tooth. So you know what? Doesn't matter. Tomorrow's a new day, and we're going to go give it our best shot. We get to ride an indoor, which is always exciting. And then, and Akiko is here, and she's my partner in the syndicate with Adrian Lyle and Salvino. And so she's here, and we're buddies, and so that's fun. So we get to cheer each other on, and so it's just so fun. I mean, the whole thing, the organization, fantastic. I mean, the show office, unbelievable. And the flight out here with Tex Sutton was fantastic, and all the people who haul horses back and forth. I mean, everything has just been really, really super. I'm so impressed.
Oh, we're so glad. We're so glad to have you, and we wish you best of luck for tomorrow. Go get him, girl, super. And we'll stay in touch. And I thank you for coming on the show and telling us about your journey. It's so fun to have you. So our next is a horseware tip. I hope you enjoy.
This winter grooming tip is brought to you by Horseware Blankets. Joining us are two of the top grooms in the country, Eventer Philip Dutton's groom Emma Ford and Kat Hill from World Class Grooming. Well, our horseware winter grooming tip is with Kat, and we're talking this week about blanketing the clipped horse. And none of us are ever sure what weight to put on, how, is too much, too little, especially with the clipped horses. It just seems to be more, you fret about it more.
Absolutely. I think it's easy to project your own temperature on your horse. If you're cold, you throw a blanket on them. If you're hot, you take one off. And every horse has their own personality when it comes to clothing. I have two Irish horses in the barn. One of them hates clothes and would be naked unless it's an absolute blizzard out if he had his druthers. And my other one wants every blanket in the barn on him at all times. He needs to be starting blanketing at 60 degrees. Thank you very much. So knowing them intimately will help you. One of the big things I tell people is to put their hand on their horse where they're not covered by the blanket. Lots of people put their hand under the blanket to feel how they feel. And most of the time, that's going to feel warm. Just like if you were to put your hand under your sweater, that would feel warm, but your hands might be freezing. So I always check ears, faces, legs, and then try to blanket to adjust that to more of a moderate temperature rather than just underneath their rug. Rambo has some amazing quality turnouts. They've got the Supreme, which is a really heavy one with the neck that keeps them super toasty warm. They have their Vera layer system, which helps thermoregulate, similar to how their own hair works, and that comes in many different weights. They've got their Wug, which is a half neck, think of like a turtleneck. So if you've got a horse who's partially clipped, the Wug just gives a little bit more protection from wind kind of sliding down their shoulders and making them chilly. They also have a really neat one that's called their Lights. Their California or Florida weight. It's 100 grams. And that's great for people who are down south and have a clipped horse and they need a little bit of something, but maybe not quite as heavy as a midweight. I also do recommend, if you've got a horse who has their neck clipped, they really need to wear a neck. Their necks are one of their biggest areas for cooling. That's why we clip it, because it keeps them cooler. And if that's exposed to wind, they have a really hard time staying warm. So I always try to at least have a top layer that has a neck covering so that they've got that wind break on their neck. The other big thing I like to talk about is to make sure you're clipping based on what you do with your horse, not how much you want to look at your horse. We all would love to give a show clip to our horse and clip them from their coronary bands to the tips of their ears, but in reality, that's not necessarily best for the horse. I always do the minimal clip possible. If I'm doing a trace clip, I'll do the lowest trace clip I can, and then work my way up until I know exactly where they need to be comfortable. In fact, even my lesson horses, I tend to just do what's called a chase clip, where I clip from in between their front legs to underneath their chin and just give them a little cooling strip. Since a lot of our horses up here still go out, they need to have that protection from the elements of their own hair in combination with some wonderful blankets.
And of course, Christmas is coming, and what would be better than the book World Class Grooming for anybody that's a horsey person in your life? And we know the author. She's on right now. So where can people find the book?
You can find us wherever equestrian books are sold, as well as our website. That's not right. As well as our website, worldclassgrooming.com. We also do clinics and barn education. You can find out more information about that at worldclassgrooming.com, and you can find us on Facebook and Instagram with World Class Grooming.
This tip was brought to you by Horseware. Have you ever wanted to own your own Rambo? Well, here's your chance. From October 3rd to November 23rd, receive $50 off any Rambo turnout blanket, including the Rambo Duo, the Optimo, the Original, the Supreme, and all the others in the Rambo turnout line. All you have to do is trade in your old turnout from any brand for a horse in need. Simply visit horseware.com/trade for more information and fill out the form for the voucher you will need to get your $50 off. The complete list of retailers is at horseware.com/trade as well. Open to U.S. and Canadian residents only. Go to horseware.com/trade today and replace that blanket with all the holes for one of the best blankets on the market, the Rambo Turnout line.
Uncle Jimmy's Hanging Balls and Licky Things help combat stall boredom by providing your horse entertainment in the stall, while at the same time providing them with much-needed minerals and nutrients not found in other treats. Uncle Jimmy's has training treats covered, too, with Uncle Jimmy's Squeezy Buns. Every deliciously soft, squishy treat is individually wrapped for freshness, so your pockets won't get gummed up. Ask for Uncle Jimmy's Hanging Balls, Licky Things, and Squeezy Buns at your local tack and feed supplier, or you can go online to uncle-jimmys.com.
Well, for today's Total Saddle Fit Tip of the Week, I am so happy to have Button Baker. She is the manager of Epona Farm in Ventura, California, and an FEI rider and trainer. Button, welcome to the show.
Thank you. This is fun.
We're so happy to have you. And I put you on the spot yesterday when you got here to Kentucky to coach Elma. I said, oh, Button, we're recording the radio show. Will you come on? And you were so gracious. So we're so happy to have you.
It's nice to do it.
So we were talking.
How can I help?
Well, let's get talking about what we were talking about right before we came on air, which was basically how riders in this country, how they feel like they have to go up a level every year. So if you could just expand on that.
I think that's been my biggest, if you call it a peeve, but it's not, because I love teaching the amateurs. I love educating them and bringing them on. But my thing is, I've watched them through the years, as I've been here since 1975. When they do first level, then they think they need to move up to second level the next year, and so on and so on. So we're getting riders who don't understand what they're really doing and just thinking tricks, and they're going on to these levels that are really not suited to yet. And the thing is, there's no harm in doing first level 1 or 2 years or second level 2 years. it's the education that matters, and it's, can you ride a decent test? And I think they don't give themselves enough credit. They almost like put themselves down because they don't move up, and that's the wrong thinking as far as I'm concerned.
No,
I know what I'm saying, like
absolutely.
that.
Yeah. I think we can definitely agree on that.
Proud. Yeah, I think they should feel proud if they can do a fabulous training level and come out with a mid 60 to 70%. And you look at those things and can you be consistent? And then you go move up a level. And then if you can do that level at a certain percentage and feel really proud of the test, instead of just assuming because you did the test, you have to move up, and that was something that was a little hard on me as a European trained person to watch this go on, when I did have the training business. And it was, I had to really educate my riders, just saying it doesn't matter if you stay down there, look what you're learning. So,
right. And
that's
I think
my thought.
And I think too, it's sometimes, maybe training in first level, you can do that, 1, 2, you can do that quickly, or, 1 a year.
Exactly.
Then you hit second level. Ooh,
right.
And
there you go.
Yeah, I think there's a big hurdle in that second level spot, right?
That's
that first
a huge,
to second level.
huge jump. Yeah.
So, how would you recommend to riders to, who aren't ready to do second level, and instead of going and getting, mid to low 50s, how would you approach riding a second year at first level? Because I think this is a troubling spot, because you can do actually quite well at first level and maybe even score into the 70s, but not be ready for second level for a couple of years. So what do you do in that in between phase?
I think what's important is that just, you're doing well at first level, but you should be training second level. So you are already putting your shoulder ins and your movements in that you have to do at second level, and you have to become comfortable with them. And to me, that's very important, that you can glide into the movements, and Reese, if you're a trainer, you understand what I'm saying in that. But if it becomes a problem for you to be able to stay in a shoulder in, or do the small circle, or do the I don't even know the tests these days, quite frankly. I was watching one the other day and I went, what is that test? I had no idea.
That's never a good sign when you don't.
I haven't done the lower levels, But
we won't talk about who was in the ring.
Right, exactly. There we go. I think it's important that the person that's riding, the other thing is, I see let's say real amateurs starting out, and they're all sitting these bumpy trots and things. And, when you're training an amateur, it's okay to say post the trot and then sit when you can, because that's another big thing for me, is that once you move to that second level, if you can't sit a trot, as you well know, then it just can't come as a nice test. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And no, and I think with amateurs, they think even when they're training in first level, they have to sit the trot. They have to sit the trot, when they're schooling. Well, you don't, because then the horse doesn't become comfortable and doesn't come over the back. And we could go on for this for hours.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
Concerned.
Well, it's so true. And I think that there's nothing about, if you're not doing well at a level, or you're maybe getting upper 50s, low 60s on a consistent basis, I think that is the time to really say, whoa, we need to step back. We need to train. We need to look at what's going on, and then come back maybe at the end of the season or the beginning of next season. And there is nothing wrong with that. And I think it's smart.
Exactly.
To do that.
And that's the biggest thing for me. There's nothing wrong with it. It shouldn't put you down. It shouldn't make you feel any less of a rider that you already are. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
And it's sad when you see these amateurs and, but if I don't move up, I'm not learning. No, that's not the right attitude, and you have to try to explain that's not true.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I think that another good point is that, when we're riding our dressage tests, we're always riding against a score, and no matter what your score is, it's not 100%. There's always things you can improve.
Yeah.
And there's always, things that a horse does really well, and things where the rider has to pick up the slack a little bit to help the horse to learn, how to do things.
Right.
I know that with my own students and clients, I say, okay, well, that was for the judge, that was a 72, but I didn't like the halt. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Or if I'm preparing a rider, I've had some riders come out and do some really super tests in the beginning of the year. And then they say, well, I want to jump up to the next level, but you haven't done the homework of the next level. We always use the winter year to do the homework of the next level. So I say, well, maybe let's take a step back and let's try and ride that first level test with a little bit of impetus towards the second level. So instead of just doing a lengthening trot, I want to see, a more, in quotations here, extended trot, something that you would show.
Right.
You're right. I mean, there's still moments to do that. Okay, you're doing a halt, and maybe in first level, it's okay to do a walk step or 2 walk steps into your halt. But let's see it like a second level halt. I want to see you nail that halt from the trot, no walk steps, no walk steps in, no walk steps out, and sort of start to ride you're only going to get even better scores at first level, right? I mean, there's always places to pick up points and ways to think about it.
On that. I'm laughing at Elma because that's exactly what we were working on. No, you can't take a walk step. You have to halt.
You can't, right.
You have to halt.
If you want those high scores. There's
It's
always ways
so
to improve and to improve, your basic tests as well.
Absolutely.
And I think you both have touched on this, and that is, there is a time to train. And I think that people have to remember that, there is now, we can show year round, but you're in California, I bet you guys show year round. Here we can show here, right. And then we're all going to Florida in a couple weeks, and we can show literally every week. And, I think with the availability of all the shows, it's great. But like Philip in Canada, you guys don't have any shows in the middle of winter, so you're forced to train.
I love it. Why we just train? That's my favorite thing, right?
Exactly.
Going to all the shows and all that stress is not that much fun.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of interesting because I watch. I went early on in Florida, and then you go back and you see them at the end, and you see what horses were able to keep up their training.
Yes.
In the shows. That's, and for me, that's like, okay, let's see which ones are really trained and give them the time to really understand it instead of just going down center line, and we see that in California all the time. They go down the first time and it's like almost like a fluke, and they come out with this high score. Oh, good, I'm ready.
That was awesome.
They go down the second time and it's like, boom. It's a reality check.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be consistent.
Better do your homework, like you say.
Yeah. So I think there's a real time to do that, and going in, I think you have to look, if you are in a position which is awesome to show year round, you still have to figure out a good couple months in there where you're not really showing, and you can work on the next level, or even obviously at Grand Prix or the upper levels, there's lots of little details that need to be fixed in the interim too. So I think that's
absolutely
huge. I think that's huge.
Yeah. Good.
Well, Button, thank you so much for coming on. You've been such a great sport, and I wish your trip to Kentucky to the U.S. finals. Actually, real quick, this is kind of on the spot, but how are you feeling the finals are going? This is your first time here, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's so well organized. They take such good care of us all. They're lovely people. They couldn't be more friendly. So awesome. I think everything is going well, and Elma's showing beautifully. So of course I'm happy.
Love it. Yeah, you're happy. Exactly. Well, this is your first trip to the U.S. final, so it's good to hear. We're glad everyone's enjoying, and the weather so far has not been terrible, so that's good.
I love it. I think it's perfect. Yeah.
Great. Well, Button, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your weekend here in Kentucky.
This week's dressage training tip is brought to you by Total Saddle Fit, home of the shoulder relief girth at TotalSaddleFit.com.
we're going to talk about the new girth that Justin has. And Phil and I have both tried this girth, and it's fantastic. So, Phil, take it away.
I've had it. It's called, for quite a bit, it's called the Stretch Tech Shoulder Relief Girth. It has all the same awesome qualities and features of the shoulder relief girth, only that this one has a triangular elastic center that allows the horse's chest to expand, and it makes a softer contact with the horse's sternum. So it's taken all the qualities of that nice shoulder relief girth and enhanced them even further, and made an awesome girth to allow your horse to breathe a little better. It fits awesome. It allows the shoulder freedom that we've talked about, puts your saddle in the exact right place where you want it to stay. I like to test things out to see if they, stand up to the rigorous training schedule, work schedule of the horses that we have. And I've used it almost every day, and it's been a really great girth. I think it's even better than the shoulder relief girth, because it's got more aligners. You have options, what you want to be on against the horse. So I have the leather one, and what I've really been liking is the neoprene liner, which is easy. You can take it off, hose it down, or put it in the wash or whatever, and it's been extremely durable, and it fit forms to the horse.
Well, Phil, we've got a special shout out this week to our good friend of the show. Jody Kelly is getting married to Josh. And we're super excited for them. They're going to have a great ceremony, and I'm sorry I can't be there, but I know Jody, of all the people that understand the national finals, she does. But I really wanted to give her a shout out and thank her for all her. She's always great about coming on the show, and I know they're going to have.
Maybe she didn't want her crazy Kentucky friend coming to her wedding, and she did it on purpose.
Actually, yeah, But we wish them a wonderful day. Congratulations, for sure.
Have a wonderful day this weekend. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we wrap it up, we have to talk about Radiothon, right?
Radiothon! Super excited. This is our first Radiothon, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot confirm our guests yet, but they're going to be good.
Pretty close. They're good. Don't worry, everybody. We are representing this year.
Yeah, and there were some great prizes announced, dressage prizes, Total Saddle Fit, one of our awesomest sponsors, has sponsored us a girth, like all kinds of great things to be listening in, and prizes to be won. And Glenn and Jen are just crazy excited, and they're crazy busy getting ready for it. That's, part of the reason they're not doing our show with us today, because there's a lot of work that goes into this Radiothon thing. So, yeah, all the hosts are really excited. We're really happy to be doing our very own hour of the show. I think it's noon till 1 Eastern time. Yeah.
I thought it was 1 to 2. We'll confirm that next time, guys. I have it written down somewhere. But yes, we have. It's in the lunchtime hour, so you can enjoy.
If you just listen all day, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, if you listen all day, you won't have to worry, and you will hear us. We will come on and be your fun. So we're looking forward to it, and So you can find our show notes and links to today's guests on our website at dressageradio.com. Like us on Facebook, just search Dressage Radio Show. Follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
The best way to find me is on Facebook, and my email is philip@horseradionetwork.com. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week for allowing us to put on a great show, and don't forget to check out all the other shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Everybody, keep your heels down and your shoulders back, and we'll talk to you next week.